Okay, so I'm going to go over the warm-up in the next couple slides, so just keep watching my shared screen. All right. Okay, so first up, oxygen and carbon dioxide molecules will pass freely through a cell. Which factor determines the direction most molecules will pass through a cell membrane? So, we have been talking about concentration gradients going from high concentration to low concentrations. That's passive. If it goes the opposite way from low to high, that's active transportation. So if you think about it, if you look over these, there's some key words you can look for. Concentration right here. This one should be the giveaway right there, this concentration word. All right, that is the giveaway for the right answer because it is the correct vocab that we've been talking about. If you look at A and C, it talks about ionic and covalent bonds holding the molecules together. That's chemistry. While that does play a role in some of this stuff, that's not what we've been talking about. And the size of the gas molecule does matter, but that's not, it leaves a lot to be answered there. So there's more to D. So B is the correct answer. The concentration of the molecule on each side, that determines how the molecules will pass through the membrane. All right, these might be in a different order than you have them on your warm-up, so just so you know, if you see one, just kind of try to remember what it was. All right, the diagram below is a plant root, and this is actually how it works, receiving minerals from the soil and surrounding cells. All right, so you see the minerals start here on the outside of the cell. Okay, it's the cell wall. Past the cell wall is a membrane, and then there's the cytoplasm on the inside. So the materials are out here in the soil, are being passed through the cell wall, and when they get to the membrane, they get transported in. So looking through these answers, you have active transport, diffusion, osmosis, and passive transport. Those three things, or those four things, are different things we've talked about. So you can think to yourself, you can eliminate C, because osmosis only deals with water. Only water is osmosis. We're talking about minerals. That's not water. So it's not C. Right? Diffusion is where things diffuse or pass across the membrane without any help. So diffusion is a type of transport, but it's too broad. So you have passive filtration and active transport. So which one of these help get across the membrane? The key here is energy, all right? And active transport is the only one that requires energy. This one, you need energy in order to transport things into the cell. So passive filtration is not a thing, right? Filtration is not a thing. It's passive transport is what we've been talking about, which is the opposite of active. Active requires energy, passive does not. All right, so the correct answer here is A, because it requires energy, which is right there. I forgot to ask on the last one, any questions on these two since we've started? Stop me in the middle so I can explain it before you get lost. So do you have any questions on the first two so far, like why you got it wrong or what the right answer, why a different answer, what you think is right? Ask it in the chat or you can just ask it out loud. Okay. All right. Animal cells placed in distilled water, it will swell and burst. The bursting of a cell is a result of which biological process? Okay, so this is what I told you about how to get rid of those blood stains. If you ever get a blood stain in clothing or some, you can add water to it to make these cells swell and burst. So these things, all right, have to do with water transported across a membrane. All right, so like I talked about in the last question, water transported across the membrane is osmosis. This is osmosis. Osmosis is the process of water diffusing across a membrane. Active transport requires energy. Nowhere in here does it talk about energy. Respiration is the creation of energy through breathing in oxygen. That's not happening here. And enzyme activity is a chemical process that speeds up or slows down reactions in a cell, and that's not happening either. So osmosis is correct. Osmosis is the transport of water across a membrane. All right. The cell process and respiration occurs in, respiration is, you have respiration and we have photosynthesis. Those are the two different processes that we've talked about that cells do. One's for plants and one's for animals. So cellular respiration, you think of respirate, you've heard of respirators in the news with COVID. If you respire, you are breathing. So this process of breathing happens in humans. Plants don't breathe oxygen. So it is only animal cells. Only in animal cells does respiration occur. Photosynthesis occurs in plants. Only in animal cells does respiration occur. All right, any questions so far on the past couple before I do this one? Please ask questions if you need them. Okay. All right. Next up, let's see. Photosynthesis. All right. So in this, in this we have gas forming in a tube. So you can actually do this. If you take a plant and stick it in some water and just make sure it stays underwater, you can see this happening. You can do this today. Okay. So if you take a plant and you stick it, say, in a pop bottle and make sure the plant is way down at the bottom and you stick it in your windowsill, come back in a couple hours after it's received some sunlight and you will see this happening. So in photosynthesis, plants take light energy and with carbon dioxide produce energy. And as a byproduct, which is something that's left over after reaction, it's something that's extra, it creates oxygen. Oxygen will float in water, so that's why if you do this, what they have is you have a beaker of water, you put the plant in a funnel, and then you connected the funnel to the test tube. All right, so you'll see little air bubbles form on the tips of the green plant. Those air bubbles are oxygen. So photosynthesis can occur underwater. That's what sea kelp is. That's what seaweed does, is it floats in the water and it takes the sunlight out of the air, and then it does its thing that way. So the gas in the test tube is oxygen, C. My thing's in the way. So C is the correct answer. Carbon dioxide is taken in, right? Hydrogen and nitrogen have different things to do with this. So it's oxygen, C is the correct answer. Plants give off oxygen. Now, the trees and the grass and the plants that you see outside right now are doing this. It's happening right now. But when you mix a gas with another clear gas, you can't see it. So you can't see the oxygen coming off the trees and the leaves outside. But if you stick it underwater, you can, because the oxygen will float to the top and you'll be able to see it. So this is something you could literally do today. All right. Which molecules supply energy for cellular function? Okay, so you have ATP, which stands for adenosine triphosphate, oxygen, water, and DNA, which stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. All right, that's not right. Yeah, so yeah, I got it right. So with that, you have these 4 things to think about. Oxygen and water don't supply energy directly, but ATP, we've talked about this, supplies energy to the cell. So the ATP is the correct answer. This is the type of energy that's needed to make active transport work. Active transport, all right, that sounds like ATP. Active transport, if you think about it that way, needs ATP to work. DNA is the instructions for cell creation and functions that happen inside the cell. All right. So that's the warm-up for today. Any questions? Please ask now, because we're kind of reaching the end of the week. If you don't understand something, now is the correct time to ask. All right. So what's up next? Here's what we're doing today. So on Schoology, I posted a link that is that says Quizlet on it. All right, what you're gonna do? Oh, good question, Jordan. No, the warm-ups are not graded based on if you're right or wrong. The warm-ups are graded only on if you did it. So because it gives me a good representation of how we did and what we understand and what we don't understand. So what I'm going to do is today, after class is over, I'm going to look over these results, and then I'm going to kind of come up with a short summary about what we need to go over tomorrow. So what you're going to do is, for today, we're going to help build on this and make sure you guys are getting a good understanding of it. You're going to follow the link on Quizlet. All right, what that's going to do is it's going to take you to a Quizlet test. All right, you get to take that as many times as you want. You might need to sign in using your Google account. And then what you're going to do is, after you finish taking it, all right, when you get a 70% or better, you can take a screen. I want you to take a screenshot of that and then attach that to the assignment. So here's what this assignment looks like. It says cell process Quizlet vocab. Go to Quizlet, take the test. All right, you must score over a 70%. If you get, as long as you get a 70% or better, you're going to get 100% on the assignment. All right, if you get worse than a 70% and you don't correct it, then I'm going to leave your score as is, and that's what's going to go in. All right, so make sure that you are trying this until you get over 70%. Take a screenshot of that, and then you're going to attach that to a submission. Okay, so all right, there I can't submit anything because I created it, but you should have a button that says make a submission up here in the corner. And when you do that, you can attach a file, which can be a picture file. So as long as you take a screenshot and attach it here, I can see that you scored over 70%, and then that's where your grade will come from. If you get 70% or better, you'll get 100%. All right, so remember, it's submitting a screenshot. This is the link you're following right here. This Quizlet link right here. All right, it should take you to something that looks like this. Here's your quiz. This is practice for tomorrow, because tomorrow we'll be having a, this is what don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be having an assessment based on what we've done this week. It's a short, I think probably 10 question assessment based on what we've done, covering vocab and some of the warm-ups we've done as well. So please make sure that you, by tomorrow, we're going to start the day by probably doing a quiz game or something just to get you guys some practice. And then you're going to take it. That one, Jordan, is going to be based on your actual score. To make sure you're understanding this stuff. So please make sure that tomorrow it's a 10-question assessment, that you are you have a grasp on this stuff before you do that tomorrow. Don't forget to complete your brain pop assignment. That's also on Schoology with instructions on how to complete that. Make sure that you are reading through that and you understand how to get sign into BrainPop and to use the code to get into the class that I created for summer school. I'm grading you on that one based on there's 3 types of assignments with the BrainPop. The BrainPop is either a video, a review, or a quiz. The graded quiz is where your grade comes from. So the video tells you about the stuff. The review quiz helps you review the questions that you'll need to know on the graded quiz. That graded quiz score is going to be what I put in your assessment. I think I had maybe 5 people that are done with that, and they've done a pretty good job on it. Pretty simple. So please make sure that you are doing that. If you have questions, message me, send me a text, or talk to me on Schoology, and I can try to help you figure that out. So this is what's tomorrow. But today, this is what we're working on. All right, so that's what you're gonna have the rest of the time today is to work on this. Follow the link, do the Quizlet, take a screenshot, submit it on Schoology. Don't send me the screenshot in an email. Do it on Schoology. So this is what we're doing right now for the rest of the time. You got about 20 minutes to complete it here. So use that time wisely. If you need me, I will be here. Ask me a question in the chat, or you can send me a message. Any questions right now?